supernatural events. Supernatural, things that can't always be explained. You know, it could be a lot of things. It can be myths, legends, crazy stuff that people wouldn't believe. And this is not something that I see a lot of Black people especially talk about. Like anytime I've seen those type of shows on TV, I'll see Black people say, why this only happen to white people? And we know that's not true. But you don't often hear a number share the crazy, unexplainable, supernatural things that they have experienced. Okay. Hey, Miss C4. And listen, it could be anything that you want to talk about. It could be ghosts, witches, voodoo, hoodoo, goblins, okay, vampires, aliens, freaking Bigfoot. What else? Mermaids, healers, all types of stuff that's considered supernatural. You know, have you seen anything? What have you seen in your life that might have scared you really bad, where you felt like you couldn't tell anybody, like they would not believe you if you told this actually happened to me? Okay. Thank you, Nookie Food. So who do we have up on here? The Soul is Prismatic TV. Antoine Williams. Antoine, A Beautiful Mind, Fire Dragon. Bossy Empress TV, Nookie Food, Katina, Purple Charm, and a few lurkers. I got my favorite little picture of my favorite movie up on here, Interview with the Vampire. Leave a heart in the chat if you've seen Interview with the Vampire, because that is hands down. There are only two legendary, actually no, 3 legendary vampire movies to me that just... Number 1 is Interview with the Vampire. That is an ultimate classic. The show they have is good, but it has nothing on the film. This is a masterpiece. This is number 1. Number 2 is The Lost Boys. And number 3 for me is 30 Days of Night, which is it wasn't promoted that well, but it's a masterpiece. 30 Days of Night. So check out Interview with the Vampire if you've never seen it. It's beautiful and it's just amazing. And of course, The Exorcist up top. That scene with that woman, that face up there, always scared me. Always scared me. And the skeleton key about the voodoo. Oh my goodness. Eve's Bayou. I can't remember that woman with the big nose up there, the witch. I saw that movie when I was little and it was really, really good, but I can't remember right now the full name of the movie, but oh my goodness. So look, I'll start this off. The phone line is open for anybody who wants to share their experiences. Again, I don't know how these lives are going to go. I don't know how these lives are going to go at all. I don't know who's going to call in. Anybody is welcome to call, by the way, and share something they want to share. But I have 3 stories that I'm going to share with you. Hold on for a second. I'm turning my volume up. Okay. I'm going to start off with a story. My late great-grandma on my mother's side. She lived to 108 years old, by the way. And there was a story she passed down. She said that her and some friends were like in a field because my great grandma, her or her mother was a sharecropper, like, you know, on the plantation type of stuff. And y'all know, and she said they were out there like on the field type of thing. And there was a light that they saw. And they kept going towards the light. And she said the more they kept going towards the light, the further out they kept going and they couldn't get near it. It's like the light kept leading them further and further out, but it was taking them nowhere. And she said they used to call it a jack-o'-lantern. At first, I was thinking of the whole hag thing, but no, a jack-o'-lantern. And that's what she said it was. She said it was a jack-o'-lantern that would lead you out further and further, this light, just to get you out there, but you would never reach it. And apparently, this is a true story. That's what happened. Also, my one of my relatives, he swore by this story, and he does not believe in supernatural things. That's the thing. He said that him and his friend, they went into a vacant apartment. Okay, so there wasn't any light around in there. It's a vacant apartment, and they were eating their food. This apartment is supposed to be empty, right? He told me that they started hearing the floor creeping, like cracks on the floor, like somebody's walking slowly. And the presence of whatever it is was so strong that they ran out of the apartment. And you know how in some apartments you have the slider to get your mail at the door. Some apartments are like that, just at the front door, the thing that he puts the mail through. So he told me he had this urge to look. They went back to the apartment, but they didn't go in. And he told me that when he opened up the mail slot, he said all he could see was these huge glowing green eyes looking at him, and that it was big, and that they ran off again. This is a true story. I don't know what the hell it could have been, but it wasn't human. Then I'm thinking there's been quite a few scary things that has happened to me in my life that doesn't make sense. I believe my home was haunted once. There was a lot of supernatural to me activity going on. And I remember waking up out my sleep where I was already feeling on edge. And I woke up out my sleep and all my voice said to me, "They're here." And the laundry, it's a glass part of the dryer cracked. It cracked and it was in a spiral. I don't know what it was, but my spirit just woke up saying, "They're here." And then that happened, a spiral crack. I said, was it a portal or something like that? What I do know is that I knew something was in the house when I woke up and I wasn't comfortable. And then that happened to the dryer immediately when I said that. Okay. Then there was the first time I experienced what they call a hag riding you. I heard about it, but I had never experienced it. But it happened to me a few times throughout my life. Um, the first time it happened was very scary. I remember I was laying down. I had a nightmare. And when I woke up, all I know is that there was this huge dark figure above my bed, darker than the room. And I kept trying to scream. And I literally couldn't even scream. It was like it was taking my voice. I couldn't even scream. But I used to keep something next to my bed, almost like a little craft suitcase type of thing. So I slowly, because I could barely move, went to grab it to hit it. And then my arm went down, like something pushed my arm down. The only thing that worked is when I did pray, and then it went away. I remember one time, oh, hold on, I got a call. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on real quick. Hold on, y'all. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So, I had a lot of supernatural experiences in my life. I'm 21, and I even been told that you're psychic by a bunch of witch doctors, you know? And one of my scariest experiences when I was younger, you know, that I actually remember was when I was around 5. And I'm in the I'm with my mom and my aunt. We're going to my other aunt's house that's much older than both my mother and my aunt, you know. And she came home from prison, and this was before I was born, for killing her husband, who was extremely abusive towards her. And the situation was, he was beating up their son really bad, really bad. And she took a knife and she bludgeoned him to death with the kitchen knife.
Oh my God.
I'm in the car. We're pulling up to her house, and this is so scary for me to even talk about again. They never told me this story, swear to God. I see a big 6-foot black man, bloodied, looking out from the living room. Not the living room, the bathroom window, and it was like, it's hard for me to explain. It was like the screens were open. You know, like, it's hard. He was just looking out the window at me, just staring. And he was, yeah, that was one of my first experiences that I remember. Then I screamed, "It's a bloody man looking at me. It's a bloody man." I was going crazy in the car because I was in fear. And my mom pulled off. You know, she was the one driving. And they were just staring at her. I mean, they were staring at each other the whole time because it was just like, no way.
You saw the ghost.
Then they told me the story. Yeah, I saw his soul. That's some scary-ish. But yeah, that was one of my first scary, experiences. But thank you for letting me call in.
You're welcome. So was that the only thing? I mean, you know what? It exists.
No, I had several, but that was just one of the first experiences that was, wow, shocking. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go because I gotta, but thank you for letting me call in.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, the phone line is open, y'all. Somebody else want to call in to share their experience? I thought of that movie when she said what happened. I thought of The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense, when the little boy was seeing all the spirits that was trapped and didn't know they had passed away, and he was seeing how they passed and all types of stuff. And that, stuff like that does happen. Sometimes people pass away and they don't even know that they passed away. Or maybe like in that movie Ghost, he wasn't able to ascend somewhere else because he was a really bad man. So he's just walking around bloodied up and stuff. Stuff like that does happen. Hold on for a second, y'all. When she brung up that her relative did that to her husband, look, I got a family member, but I don't talk to them, but I don't have a problem with them. I'm just saying, when I met her husband, when she was around the family, her husband just sat there being quiet. And it was so strange to me, like he would not speak. It was like he just was gone, but there. He just would not move or not speak. Like he was present, but not present all the time. Not like he was mentally ill or anything. And I had asked them, I'm like, what's going on? And they told me, they were like, well, he used to beat her. He used to beat her all the time, but she went to the root woman. She went to the root lady. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And she said, they told me, yeah, she put roots on him because he kept beating her. And now he don't say nothing. He just shut up. I said, oh my God. Now, I don't get down with roots and hoodoo and all that other stuff. But I do remember my grandma, this is back in the day. She said, oh, somebody put an egg in front of my yard. They working roots on me. Because they do that. People do that. A lot of people, look, them Gullah Geechee, them New Orleans and people, all that stuff, the Caribbean, child. But it's not, look, I was shocked because I went online researching And this is some real shit, y'all. This Hoodoo and Voodoo, they selling the doll babies as I speak on these online platforms, the books, all that. People really into this stuff. Like I remember a few years ago watching the news, and they said that it was this woman traveling from one of these Caribbean nations. It might have been Puerto Rico. And they opened up her suitcase and she had skulls, real life human skulls in her suitcase and all types of voodoo stuff. So, I remember watching Skeleton Key, The Believer, Serpent in the Rainbow, and Skeleton Key to me is one of the Skeleton Key is off the chain. But the key thing they said in that movie was that, it won't hurt you if you don't believe. You got to believe in it for it to work. And I believe that too, because a lot of stuff is mental. Because when I hear about people doing some of this stuff, I'm like, well, why are you still poor as hell? Like, if it really worked, why come y'all still poor as hell and suffering? I'm just saying. You got to be careful with that stuff too, because you can open up stuff. They say sometimes to get stuff, you got to give certain stuff. And if you messing with the wrong thing, stuff start messing with you and wanting you to do stuff to people, all types of craziness. Or, I don't know. Some people believe in it and some people don't. But a lot of things is mental. If you really, really believe in it. Because I've heard people saying, I think people put roots on me. I'm waking up with scratches on me. I got a feeling. People really, really take it serious, especially in some parts of the South, certain parts where they do that type of stuff. Ooh. Hold on for a second, y'all. Yeah. Serpent in the Rainbow. I remember that movie. He went to Haiti to research zombies, and he didn't believe in that crap until they made him one. A Beautiful Mind. I would not get a voodoo doll if I was you. But that movie, Eve's Bayou, is a classic off the chain. Off the chain. But when I heard about my relative, I'm telling you, the way her husband was like a zombie. And they told me that he used to beat her and she went and did that to him. And now he just sits still. I said, oh my goodness. Because I never would have thought he was doing that the way he was acting. I thought something was wrong because he wouldn't talk or move really. But you got to be careful because even your family, if I know you mess with that stuff, I am not messing with you because I don't trust you. Try to put some hoodoo voodoo up on me. I don't think so. Hold on. Fire Dragon says, I believe that people don't know that a lot of the stuff that they send towards others is already on its way back to them. Like a boomerang, unless you're just returning to sender. Yeah. I have had someone spiritual talk to me before and they're like, people getting their karma, everything they did to you. But it's like, I don't know. I don't always feel happy hearing it completely because if I can't witness it in front of my face, like you can tell me, oh, somebody used to date that did you wrong. He getting karma now. I'm like, well, how would I know? I'm not there to witness it. I don't get any real peace if I can't see and know for myself and see it truly happening to you. Like if you did me wrong or did something. I don't like hearing, oh, they're going to get theirs in the next life. I'm like, yeah, but we'll be dead. I won't remember them. That ain't, no, I want justice in this life. Like if that's the case, then rapists could just roam free because, hey, they're going to suffer in the next life. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. No, I want to see vengeance and justice while I'm alive in front of my face. I don't want to hear nothing about no afterlife vengeance because that don't do nothing for me. Because I don't know what's going on. I don't see them people. I want to see the justice served in real time in front of us all. you know? So, hold on. Bossy Empress, somebody passed away? You did something? Lord, no. If you didn't see that movie called The Believers, watch The Believers. Off the chain. But I've been seeing all these videos right here on YouTube, you know, black women on like CNBC talking about their spiritual jobs now, and Santeria. Look, Santeria was in The Believers. They say J-Lo was into Santeria. Look, I'm not messing with that. I don't give a damn how ancient and African something was. That don't mean it was good. And I'm like, you know what? When I see some people pretending like on some of these, it was MSNBC or something like that. They have the specials, and it was the black woman getting into the spirituality business and stuff. And I mean, if it helps people, but some of that stuff, I'm like, look, like I said, some countries that's known for practicing this stuff is poor as hell to this day. I'm like, clearly that voodoo ain't been working because y'all still suffering as hell up over there. You know, why come the voodoo ain't worked to get y'all up out of severe poverty yet? Not only that, but people can do what they want. But when you are spiritually strong or you just don't believe in that crap, it ain't gonna mess with you really. You know? And if you have if you're really spiritual and stuff, they will be blocked from it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. But a lot of people are tempted to get into that stuff, especially when, you know, things are going wrong or they've been crossed by people and stuff. And I used to wonder why in a lot of these supernatural movies, you always see them with water. You ever notice that water is always present? And I realized because water is like a mirror. It's what makes you cross over to the other side of stuff. That's why they use water. You might see a person, they'll lay down in the tub and go under the water. And when they get up, they're in another realm and stuff. You know, when you look at water at the lake or the river, you see your reflection. It looks like a mirror. And there are two sides of stuff. You know? One thing I have wondered about, though, is herbs. I see people promoting herbs all over TikTok, and I'm like, do these herbal medicines really work? They never show people how to use them. I'm like, do you boil it in water and drink it? Does it taste disgusting? You know, do you have to drink it every damn day? You know, I have a relative who passed away, and my mom was like, you know, she was sick and she went and took all these damn herbs, and then she passed away in like 2 days after drinking all that shit. So, you got to be careful. You know, Lucky Star says when you're poor but a practitioner, it means you're doing evil. I don't know. I never see people really show that their spells or potions or herbal medicine and spiritual stuff ever work for them. Like they never show evidence of it. Like if it worked, that would be great, but I'm talking about good stuff, not the bad stuff. Oh, hold on, y'all. Hello.
Hello, Cerebral.
Hi.
It's fun. Hi. Okay, so my spiritual experiences weren't really that scary. But one thing that happened to me, like maybe this was last year. I had a dream about one of my friends when I was growing up, his mom, and she was standing across the street and she was crying, and I couldn't I was like in the dream I was like, why am I thinking about her? Like I haven't, you know, talked about her, heard about her, nothing like that. And I woke up the next day, and it had just been on my mind. I'm like, why was she crying in the street? Why am I dreaming about this lady? I haven't seen her since I was like maybe like 16. Come to find out, a couple days later, it was her son, who was my brother's best friend. He had deleted himself.
Oh,
and
no.
I've had, like, I will dream about the person before they go. This happened to me with my uncle. I had a dream about him, and in the dream we were fishing, we were talking. I'm like, I wasn't even really that talkative with this uncle, but I spent every summer with him and his wife and their kids, and I was wondering why I had a dream about him because I hadn't heard from him in years. Come to find out, my cousins and them, they were all over Facebook, and I called them. I was like, what's going on here? Like, you didn't know my father passed away? I was like, oh my God, no, I didn't know. I just had a dream about him the other day, and I was wondering what happened. So I always have premonitions like that, and they come in dreams, and they're just very shocking. So I just wanted to share, that.
Well,
So.
They say you kind of got the gift. Like, you just made me think of one of my relatives. My mom told me this story, how she said she had a dream and she was freezing. She said she woke up just freezing. And the next day, she said one of our cousins, this was before I was born, she said he froze to death.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. And, like, when I had my firstborn, I would always have dreams about the baby, but we were always talking about her, or she was in the room, but nobody could see her. And I woke up one day after having a dream, and I said, oh, y'all, I had a dream about the baby, and she was so pretty, and she had all this hair. I went to labor that day. So it's just crazy stuff like that has happened to me. Also, one time I had an out-of-body experience, which wasn't connected to, like, death or anything like that. I just one day went to sleep. It was really hot in my mom's house, and because the AC had broken in, it was Florida, so it was really, really hot. So I got in the shower and, trying to cool down, and then I laid in my bed, and as I went to sleep, I started thinking about floating in the middle of the ocean, the sun, and what it would smell like, what it would feel like, and it felt like my body was floating. And as I went to sleep, everything was black, and then I woke up, and I got out of bed, and I stretched, and I turned around, and I saw my body laying in the bed, and I said, ooh, oh my God. And I leaned over, and I was like, is that me? Like, and I could tell I was breathing, I could tell that I was alive, but I said, well, if that's me, then how am I here? And I looked down, and I didn't have a body.
You know what?
And I said,
that happened to me.
Really?
Except I didn't see my body. I remember I swear I woke up, I sat up, I tried to get up, but one side of me couldn't move. And I'm like, why can't the hell I get all the way up? I mean, it's like we're talking right now. It was like nothing had changed. But then I realized, oh my God, I'm out of my body. One side of me can't fully get up. And the minute I realized, oh my God, I'm not actually up. I'm asleep, but I'm up. Astral projection. As soon as my mind realized, oh my God, that's when I woke up.
That's what happened to me. So I looked and I said, well, I did my thoughts and said, if I'm standing here, I need to get back in there. And so as soon as I had that thought, like, oh my God, my body, I need that thing. Everything went black, and I felt my spirit go back into my body, and I felt like tingling from my tips to my toes and my fingers, and then I felt I felt my spirit go back in my body, and I jumped up and I ran out of the room, and I was like, Mom, and I talked to my brother, Mom, oh my God, I just had it. And I was just telling them what happened, and they're like, you're crazy. I was like, I'm not crazy. It just happened. So,
well,
those are the stories I learned.
When you pass away, you lose about 5 pounds or something like that. You lose weight when we pass away. They said our body gets lighter. So our spirit really is a real thing.
Oh, it is. And I mean, I'm not religious or anything. I grew up like Christian or whatever, but I'm just spiritual now, not religious, because I've been through way too many spiritual things for not believing anything. definitely know that we have spirits, and these spiritual things are real. Some people are psychic. I think everybody's psychic to a degree, but yeah, I just wanted to share that. And when I saw you about to post about this, and I said, I gotta listen to the story. But yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you. Let me ask you this: Do you believe in Do you believe in vampires?
I believe in more of a spiritual vampire. I don't know if they. Well, I think there might be some real vampires out there. Yeah, I do. But I don't know. Like, I think they're more of like the people that are like the elite in the cabal, and I think that they more like do these rituals where they're drinking people. You know, I don't know if you can we say blood?
Yeah, go ahead.
But okay, yeah, I think that they are. I think there are people that do like rituals and drink like blood of like maybe people that they offed or deleted or something like that. I think that that's more. I think they're more. I don't think they have like fangs and like the real traditional vampire that we would know. I think they're more like that, and they worship like Satanism or do like occult rituals and stuff like that.
Do you believe in time travel?
Absolutely. I do. Do you?
Oh yes, I believe. Let me write this down because I'm gonna explain why I believe it. Do you believe in werewolves?
Yep, I believe in a lot of stuff.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yep.
Do you believe in aliens, extraterrestrials?
Yes, and I've seen when I was little, I was like 10, maybe 11 or 12. Couldn't be older than that. I was laying in bed, and I seen something hovering outside in the sky, and I watched it. And it stopped, like it was just floating almost, but it was like green. So it couldn't have been an airplane or a helicopter. And as I saw it, it stopped moving, and it just sat there, and then it zipped really, really fast back to where it was, and just hovered. And I jumped out of bed, and I ran and laid on the couch. And my mom came out because she was getting ready to go to Walmart. It was 24 hours. She said, "What are you doing on the couch?" I said, "I'm scared." And she was like, "What's wrong?" And so I wouldn't tell her because I was embarrassed because I thought it was crazy. But she kept asking me what happened, and I told her. Now, a lot of people have been asking me because I had it was no more than 5 years ago. I was driving down the interstate, and I was wondering, it's the weekend, why is everybody driving so slow? What's going on? And I looked over at the car next to me, and the girl, her phone was stretched out, and she was recording something in the sky. So I looked at the direction that she was recording in, and there was a big orb that was glowing, but it was not like bright as the sun, but it was very bright. And I don't know how to really explain it, but it was like this orb, and it was just floating across, just floating, and we couldn't see anything inside of it, but there was everybody on the interstate had seen it. I've been looking for videos of this thing. I've seen similar, but I'm like, why can't I find the one from that day? But I think they suppressed a lot of those videos and things. I wasn't able to record it because my phone was dead. So, but I saw it and it float, and I was like, I don't know what it was glowing orb flying across the interstate, and it just kept going until I couldn't see it no more. So, I don't know.
That's a lot of stuff that people can't explain. But I believe anything is possible.
Me too. I've seen a lot of stuff, and then just knowing that I've had premonitions and stuff, and I'm just like, there's something going on in this world that we can't explain, So I believe in people. One of my exes said that they saw Bigfoot. Him and his brothers and sisters were telling me about how they woke up and they saw Bigfoot eating in their backyard because they had a garden. It was just, I've heard of a lot of different stories, but me personally, most of my spiritual experiences weren't scary, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling.
Well, you're welcome.
All right.
I'll be in the chat.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You know, I used to believe in a lot of stuff and I've experienced a lot of stuff. She's bringing me back certain things, but I've had some things happen in my life where I don't believe as much as I used to. And ironically, I don't experience supernatural things as much anymore when I stop believing in some of that stuff, even though I did have some experiences and some of it's just too scary when some of that stuff happens. But I still do believe anything is possible. Um, I when she mentioned dreaming, I dream my period, my menstrual cycle about a day or two before it comes on. I'll literally dream that I'm on my period. This happens all the time. That's how like besides writing it down, I literally know when it's coming cuz I always dream it about a day or two before it comes on. That happens to me. And I've dreamed a few things before. So, mm, Miss Stone says I had something happen, but I only told one person. Don't be afraid to call in the show. I mean, no one will know. You can tell us what happened. So, when she asked me, did I believe in time travel? I believe it's possible. I definitely believe it's possible. One thing I notice in the movies over and over, there's a common theme with time travel. They'll build the machine, the portal, and there's always water present. What did I say earlier? Water is like a portal to a number of people. It's a mirror. So, and the machine will be going really fast in a circle. That's because you have to mess with the positive and negative, the force field. You have to have it moving so fast, that energy, that it opens a hole within the fabric of time. I know this, I can't go into detail. I'm not a scientist, but there's something they use like batteries or some sort of, I'm trying to think of the word, like, mm, with the elements type of thing, the periodic table and all that other stuff, the elements, let's just say the elements. Okay. And they use something. If you can have it going, one is going forward and the other one is going backwards, and move them at the same speed, extremely fast, you can open up a portal. I believe that. I definitely believe time travel is possible. I definitely do. I remember seeing something where they said the government's technology is 60 years ahead of us. They got technology we haven't even seen yet. They already got it. Like Roswell, I believe Roswell, that UFO crash, I believe it happened. It happened. And just like in the movies, they have it. They have the craft. They have it, and they've been studying it. They've learned their technology, all of it. All of it. The inner earth theory, the hollow earth theory, I believe it. My great grandma told my mom and grandma, she said, everything that's on land is in the sea, and vice versa. Everything. I've even heard people say, we came from the ocean first. Oh, yeah, we came from the sea and then mutated. I've heard that before, but I'll tell you this. I have no reason on earth not to believe there isn't anything within the earth. Reportedly, the hollow earth, there's a hole in the North and South Pole, and you can go in there. It has its own sun, trees. Did you know that the scientists discovered an ocean larger than all of our oceans within the inner earth? This was a few months ago. Y'all can look it up. The scientists discovered an ocean bigger than all of our oceans inside of the earth. You know damn well it's something in them. It is, no ocean is empty. No ocean is empty. There is something in there that we have never seen. It's humongous. Y'all already know. Y'all know. And I believe that the government is already studying it, but they're not going to come out to the public. They're not going to tell y'all that. Absolutely not. They have the expeditionists, all of them. They've either done it already or they're about to. They're going in there to see what the hell is in there. What scientist wouldn't do it, to be honest with you? But in every movie we've seen, it's a disaster. It's stuff down there you are not prepared to see. You're not prepared to see it. Emerald Bird. He was he flew the airplanes, just say that. He was in the military. This was years ago. He said that when he flew to the North Pole, he saw beyond the poles where they tell you, oh, this is the end of the North Pole. He said, no, it wasn't the end. He said he saw trees and land further than what what they tell us, that the North Pole did not end where they said. It's land and all types of stuff out there. That's what he claimed. He's passed away years ago, decades ago, but that's what he said. And the crazy thing is, y'all, in case you didn't know, there are parts of the North Pole that's off limits. The government will not let us go past a certain point. Now, why would the government not want us to see all of the North Pole? Why is it restricted by the government? They even have jobs that tell you are not to report anything you see out here in the North Pole. What could be out there? I've heard reports of people seeing UFOs coming out of the water. I've heard the story of scientists who disappeared close to a week out there, and when they found them, they could not speak because they saw and encountered something. I've heard of people saying they went to the inner earth and that there is civilizations out there within the earth. Some people even said the UFOs people seeing in the sky, the planets, is coming from the civilizations within the inner earth. That's their spacecrafts. I believe anything is possible, but I would wonder why on earth would an intelligent group of beings that have been in the earth for this long, what's keeping you from coming out? Why you ain't come out yet? Maybe they have. I mean, where could they? I mean, seriously, if you're in the North Pole, I mean, where are you going to go? Unless you have your spacecraft. Seriously? Freezing water and icebergs. I mean, I don't know. But they say there are different holes throughout the entire earth to get into the inner earth. You know, in the forest and the national parks, all types of stuff. And speaking of national parks, I know you heard about Missing 411. Missing 411, do you know that a lot of people disappear at national parks more than ever? And they always find their bodies without their clothing near a body of water. Now, I believe they tell us in these movies exactly what the hell is going on. They just can't come out and say it, though, because y'all can't handle it. So they got to put it in the movies because they just can't say it. I think about that movie, Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn. You know, my mother told me when I was little, she said, you know, people still eating people. People still eating people. And then these movies came out like Wrong Turn and The Hills Have Eyes. And I said, you know what? I can believe it. I can believe that these rural, poor towns in the Midwest and West Virginia and all these other places, they ain't got no money. They ain't got no food. People go missing coming through town. They kill them and they chop them up and put them in the deep freezer and they're eating them. I have no reason on earth not to believe that this is happening. Cannibalism is not as uncommon as y'all think. Oh, no. I believe it in these rural, real poor towns and stuff where there ain't nothing there. Y'all better not think it's not possible. But I also think about the movie called The Descent. Let me put that in the chat because I want y'all to check it out. Hold on. Highly underrated movie, a gem, where these women went to a cave system, but the leader of the group didn't tell her friends that this cave was undiscovered. They thought it was discovered and they would know their way out. But she didn't tell them, actually, nobody has been here, or so she thought. And basically, they got stuck in the cave and they were attacked by creatures. that look human but mutated, horrible looking. And then they realized that those creatures were actually humans. They were humans that got stuck in the cave hundreds of years ago that couldn't get out. They got lost in the cave system and they eventually got stuck. They went blind and they mutated. Their teeth changed, their bodies changed, everything. They still were having kids, but they were like demonic because they completely mutated down there. That's totally possible because they was down there for so long. And it made me think of, it was at a park, like a national park type of thing. And it made me think of Missing 411 because it's a true thing that children, everybody goes, a lot of people go missing in these national parks. And I heard the story of a police officer who wouldn't even go past a certain point. Like, no, we don't go down there. Because it's shit in there, y'all. The fact that we haven't even explored the full ocean, only 1% of our ocean has been explored. 1%. The Pacific Ocean is the deepest ocean, and we have only explored 1%. We don't know what the hell is down there. We don't know. That's why I think to myself, I believe in exploring space, but I'm like, we need to be exploring Earth. We don't even know what the hell is down in our own oceans. We've only seen 1%. And what we've seen with that 1% has already been a hell of a lot. I believe with everything in me that there's UFOs and aliens living in them oceans like people. A lot of people said they now seen them come out the ocean, their crafts. I believe it. It's the perfect hiding spot. And they got the technology to bend time and all that other stuff. Oh, yeah. I believe it. And you see it in the movies all the time with them aliens down there. The aliens, some of them, I've heard people say, who claim to work for the government, they said some of the aliens look like us, that you wouldn't know. I heard one person say they love Halloween because that's the time they get to come out. And you think they wearing a mask, and it's not a mask at all. Oh, I've heard some things. We don't even know our own planet. So I think we need to discover more about Earth. Because there's a lot of stuff going on. Like the X-Files, that shit is real. But you gotta have a certain mentality to work for the government high up to see them files. Because the average person would never be able to handle hearing and seeing the truth. It would scare them to death. I think I could do, I don't know. Shit. I don't know if I have nightmares. Maybe I could work for the government and get these files and find out if this stuff is really real, some of this stuff. I've heard the rumors that the Smithsonian, they got the Nephilim giants, their bones, them big old bones, the Nephilim. Some people said the Smithsonian got it. It's locked up underground. It's locked up. Yeah, you got the Vatican has the archives. Some of the oldest stuff in history locked up down there. I'm telling you, they be telling us in these movies, the Da Vinci Code, the Relic, Mimic, Stargate, Aliens. Oh, yeah. They experimenting on humans, all types of stuff, making hybrids, cloning. They already cloning people. So I believe in a lot. So I don't put nothing past. And people get mad at the government. I don't think there's anything wrong with discovery and experimenting if you don't hurt nobody. Like, don't do nothing crazy. Because I believe, y'all seen that movie 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later? Look, in all of these movies, so many movies, what do they have in common? The government likes to experiment and they end up like Resident Evil. They end up unleashing some shit on Earth that end up mutating us, making us sick, or unaliving us. Look, I believe with everything in me, they got some nut jobs working at the CDC. Like, you got good people that work for the CDC, but there's always that crazy scientist who wants to put his hands in something. Let me see if I mix these two bacteria together, what will it do? Let's test it on the monkeys or the mice first. Oh, these humans need to pay. Then you always have the religious character who's like, oh, let's unleash God's wrath. Judgment time must come. They need to pay. We've had this disease locked up in the CDC. Unleash it on them. But then in all the movies, they never have a cure before they unleash it. And then it spreads all over the earth and everybody halfway dead. And then some miracle happens and somebody discovers the cure and stuff. It makes me think of the Black Plague that happened in Europe and then spread all over the damn place. And it came from them damn the mice. People wasn't washing and they had them damn mice running around. The mice was biting up people and had some type of infection or something. The bubonic plague or the Black Plague. And then killed up almost half the damn world with that damn thing. I know it is, but I really do believe we got crazy scientists working up in there that they want to unleash some shit. Like COVID, we ain't never had no shit like this happen in our life. Where that shit come from? It still hasn't been explained on what the hell that is. Somebody said it came from a fish market in China. I'm like, well, what kind of disease comes from the fish market? This is Contagion. If you ever seen that movie, let me put it in the chat. I'm like, hold on, where did this even come from? Like, makes sense, because all my years of living, we ain't never seen nothing like this. It can't be explained. All these different variants. Like, what? First of all, what the hell is it, number one? Where'd it come from? Now everybody around the country has this cough that won't go away. I was suffering with that for about 3 months of a cough that would not go away. And I never cough like that. And now everybody's on TikTok saying that they're coughing like crazy for 6 months. It's all over New York and Mississippi and all over the place, this mysterious cough. And they think it got something to do with the government. Ooh, did I see a door in the woods? Oh my God, no. That sounds scary already. Do I think Jamie Foxx got cloned? No, I don't. I do believe that very rich people have been frozen to death, to be brung back. Because the Egyptians was trying to do it. That's why they mummified themselves, because they knew that one day we would have technology where we could take their cells, if something, and bring them back. I think that's why they did that, because they wanted to come back. That's why they buried themselves with gold and all types of stuff, because they believed they could come back again. I really believe it. And I believe right now some of the richest people have made a plan to be frozen in a tripod or something, like in the movies of Alien and stuff, and they want to come back. They want to come back again, so they're going to be frozen. And you know what? I really believe that one day technology might be like that, where you can bring people back. Because think about it. You can freeze sperm. You can put sperm in a freezer and then thaw it out and use it and get pregnant. So I believe stuff like that exists. Do I believe? I don't know. HIV and AIDS. Was it a government experiment? Possibly, but personally, I do believe it could have come from eating monkey meat, because it's found in the monkey. And I said this would make perfect sense how it transferred into human beings, eating monkey meat in Africa. Even though the first case, I think, of the man who died of it, he was a white man who slept with supposedly with 2,000 men. I don't know for sure. But some people said it was actually on Earth in the 1920s. But I don't know. People started dying of it in the 1980s. But it takes 10 years sometimes to develop into AIDS. So that would mean it was out during the 70s or 60s. But some say no, it actually was out during the 20s. I believe two things. It came from monkey meat, eating monkey meat. 3 things. It came from eating monkey meat. Somebody was sleeping with a monkey. Or the government made up some shit and just threw it out there. But the fact that it was killing gay men first, I mean, I don't, people will say, oh, I don't believe it was meant to kill a specific race, because it was white gay men who was dying of that shit first. And then the bisexual men brung that shit over to women. Oh, yeah. And then the blood transfusions and the drug users and shit, that happened too. That it was getting all over the place. But the large concentration of it still to this day is with gay men and the bisexual men who F gay men and then bring that shit over to women. Yeah, there are cases of women who give it to men, but usually the women got it from a man, and half the time the men slept with men. And people get mad when you say this, but that's just facts. So, get mad if you want, but that's the truth. And one of the reasons, I wouldn't label it a gay. I mean, anyone can get, and you can get anything if it passes through the blood and fluid. The thing is, though, when you have anal sex, you have so many nerve endings in your rectum and tears. That's why it happens so easily. You bleed, having anal sex, your fluids, you have tears all over the place down there because it's your butt, So, So, oh my goodness, child. But yeah, the government, when you see these commercials, look, the government has to experiment on somebody to get the cure. They just don't give out these medicines to fix people. They had to have tested it on people before they released it to the public. Who they testing this shit on? I don't know. I don't know if they kidnapping people. I don't know if it's prisoners. Child, I don't know. But they experimenting and they are getting the cures for stuff. But you ever notice on these commercials how they'll try to sell you medicine and then it's like 50 things wrong, side effects. Like, don't take amoxicillin. Side effects include a stroke, heart attack, low libido, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, hearing voices, diarrhea, throwing up, vomiting. I'm like, well, damn, why should we take the medicine? You've already listed 50 damn things wrong with the pill. Are you? What kind of advertisement is this? Oh my goodness. I've seen the videos of people saying that celebrities have done time travel. And look, it's only so many faces we're going to have on Earth. I mean, I've seen people who live on one side of the Earth who look like people on a different side of the Earth. Everybody got somebody on the Earth that look like them. Somebody, a close resemblance. I mean, not all the time, because I don't often meet any women I feel look like me in person on average, but you can get little resemblances. But somewhere in the world, you have somebody somewhere a lot of times that might look just like you. And they say you're not supposed to meet your twin. They say that, but it does happen. They cloned Tyrone. No, I didn't see that. Do you think cloning is wrong? I mean, if I give permission, then you could, if I wanted that done. I don't see how that can be damaging to anybody, cloning, unless like you're doing it for sinister reasons. But the government, they got some things they plan on doing. Oh, I see it. But in all the movies, that shit always goes left half the time. Like, y'all heard about that damn robot that attacked that guy? Yeah, it's in all the movies. iRobot and artificial intelligence and stuff. Terminator. They think it's a game. Did I see on the CDC website about these bionic mosquitoes that they've been sending around the U.S.? Oh my God, no. But I did hear about the drones that look like mosquitoes that spy on people. You wouldn't even know. Something you think as a fly is a robot type of thing investigating you. But there, like I said, there was stuff I used to believe in that I don't believe no more, because I heard about that planet Nibiru they used to claim was coming to Earth, and it was going to come here, and there were two suns, and it was coming. That was like 10 years ago, and the planet never came. They claim that the Anunnaki is on Nibiru, and only during this time does this planet come through, and the Earth is going to be destroyed, or we're going up to and the planet never came. And that was a big thing all over the internet, people talking about this second sun and Nibiru and all that, and that didn't happen. Well, I think a clone, if you are living, you have a spirit. If somebody is cloned and they can talk and live like us, they have a spirit. I mean, how else are they living? They're not a robot. So there's a lot of interesting things. Mermaids. I don't know. My great grandma, again, below on land, is in the sea. I believe mermaids could possibly exist, but they probably don't look like completely what we think. I know in the Caribbean, they believe in mermaids and stuff. To me, I mean, they could just be alien civilizations that live down there and look like mermaids. And I remember that movie called Waterworld. Waterworld to me is a masterpiece that was kind of forgotten. I mean, I think we're headed to that, where basically in the future, everything was covered up with water. The glaciers melted, everything melted. And humans changed. Some humans had gills, and they were not liked. Like, people would come out, you got to hide that you have gills. And a lot don't. So Kevin Costner's, his character, he could swim under the water because he had gills. They mutated, but he had to hide it. So one of the women he had on his boat, she didn't know. No human knows the skyscrapers and the buildings that used to be here in this movie. They don't know anything about it. The whole world is covered with water, but they keep hearing about land, and that's what they're searching for forever and ever. And he took her in the water, and he took her down, and he showed her the skyscrapers. All of it's underwater, and she couldn't believe it. So I think that if climate change continues, that could be the future of Earth. I just don't understand how the scientists could tell us to our faces, this is what's going to happen. Florida will be underwater. New York is going to be underwater if you people do not fix this problem. And to this day, it's like, well, we can't all fix it, but the government has done nothing to stop this. And the scientists told us a decade ago how it's going to go down. If you don't fix climate change and this shit keeps melting and the sea level keeps rising and y'all overheat this shit, this is the following places that will no longer be. And we're seeing New York getting flooded every year, which has never happened in history. We are seeing these horrible hurricanes and Hurricane Katrina and hurricanes every year. I don't understand why humanity is seeing a train wreck approaching and is still just standing. But maybe the government might think, well, I want population control. Yeah, but you're going to be dead too. People think it's a game. People think this climate change is a game. Do you really think you're going to be able to survive massive heat? I don't care what race you are. People are going to be dying of heat stroke. The electricity is going to go out because the wires are going to get over damn heated and go out. The fish and the animals in the oceans are going to die because it's too damn hot. Say goodbye to eating fish and crab legs. It's over. They're dead. The bees have already disappeared. The polar bears' homes are being ruined. They have nowhere to go. The glaciers are going to melt. Regions that's already hot as hell during summer, close to 120. Do you really think people in these parts of the world are going to be able to survive more heat from this climate change the worse it gets? Absolutely not. People are going to be dropping like flies from heat stroke. I will repeat it. The electrical wires are going to overfry and the power going to go out and we're going to be living. It's going to be like off the movies. Y'all not going to have nothing to eat. You're going to be hot, miserable, overheated. And it could have all been prevented possibly if the world gave a damn when the scientists told you what was going to happen if y'all don't do something about this. Yes, we do need electricity. I need air conditioner. I'm not living in no heat like that. I don't like summertime as it is. I have no choice but to live in the heat and the hot weather when summer comes, but I always have air conditioner on. I do not, no, absolutely not. Hell no. But Devon says we don't need wire electricity. We need clean electricity fusion. Give us more detail, Devon. What is clean electricity fusion? Well, you know what? Some say to use the solar panels, that you can live that way with solar panels. But I see it. I see it coming. We see it every single year. We've never witnessed New York City flooding with hurricanes and flooding like what's been going on now. That's not normal. That ain't never happened in history. But it's happening now, just like them scientists said it would. And New York ain't built the infrastructure to handle that because that's not normal there. It's already sinking from being too many buildings. Florida is going underwater like they said. But people think it's a joke. Hold on for a second. I got to get rid of someone. Hold on. So it's going to be what it's going to be. I believe the Terminator is going to happen. I really do. You know, people don't think it could happen, but it could. I believe it. I don't have no reason at all to believe artificial intelligence is not capable of forming a consciousness. They told us when we were little, our brains were nothing but computers anyway. If you program artificial intelligence well enough and it gains consciousness and is able to make decisions and its brain keeps developing, it can mimic what it thinks is human emotions and thought. And it can happen. I mean, seriously. I don't believe at all that it's not possible. At all. I do think artificial intelligence can be very beneficial, but it can also be dangerous too. You got to be careful. You got to program it right. You got to do it right, you know. I'm thinking of things that the world needs to do with technology. If it were up to me, all supermarkets would have whole food. Get rid of this GMO shit and just give everybody fresh, good food. It doesn't make any sense. And why the hell is Whole Foods so damn expensive? Why people got to pay all this money just to be able to eat some damn natural cabbage. I mean, that's ridiculous to me. Ridiculous. You know? Clean the oceans. I want all that trash and oil out of the ocean. Period. Divine, I heard there's electricity that's generated through water and other elements. Yeah, because they have those cars that run off of water, I heard. That might be the future. I heard that they're coming out with a flying car. I'm like, that's going to be dangerous. Because if that car gives out, the shit's going to fall from the sky on somebody. Or collide with a damn airplane or something. I just find it strange that humans can advance in technology, but not with basic stuff on Earth, you know. Racism, medicine, cures. But I do believe this behind the scenes, the scientists, every problem you can think of, I believe there is a group of scientists who are behind the scenes working on it. Like they're trying to figure it out and how to fix some stuff. But they can't come out right away with it yet until they know for sure it works. And they will have to experiment on people. I guess maybe, I don't know if people sign up for it or they kidnap somebody. I don't know, but it's not going to bring, you know. Hold on. It's amazing to me, though, how they came out with Viagra, but they couldn't give anything for women. But that is still amazing to me, the fact that they were able to create something like that. But that's because, you know, it was a serious thing for men. Very serious issue. You know, the one, you got to please a woman. You know, so I'm okay, we're going to come up with this pill to help. So, yep, Bossy Empress TV, population control is a real thing. There's too many people on the earth, not enough resources. So you do have those in power, some who feel like people got to die because we ain't got enough to give everybody. They need to get a male birth control pill. Oh, yes. A number of people have said that. Yup. I don't know, though. I'm torn on it, though, because there are people who say the government is trying to kill us. But then I think, well, if they wanted to kill us, they would not have all these medicines out to help you live longer. Like all these sicknesses out. If they really wanted y'all to die, they would not even make that available. They would just be letting people just go on and drop dead, you know? Not prolong your life with pills. Unless you're just one big experiment that they want to test this shit out on, or they really aren't trying to kill you. But I don't fully, yes, in a way, because look at the foods. Like, I do get that some of these foods have to be preserved so that it doesn't spoil. But a lot of stuff we eat over here is banned in a lot of other countries. You know, back in the olden days, they had to salt their meat. They get that piece of meat and put salt all over it and let it hang. Ugh. Yeah, a lot of food is getting more expensive, which is terrible. Terrible. That's why I said in my video how to save money. If you want some meat, buy chicken thighs. Don't buy the big old pack of chicken breasts that cost like $15 when you can get a big old pack of thighs for $7. Like if I make a stew or something, I just buy chicken thighs and cut up the chicken thighs. Like I actually bought a pack of chicken legs and it only cost me $5. I'm like, damn, $5. If I don't prefer chicken legs. A lot of people do not care for chicken legs, but we'll still eat it. But I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm gonna cook these chicken legs and just put some barbecue sauce on it or some chili sauce. I said, shit, I can't beat this $5. Chicken wings and chicken breasts are always the most expensive. And you notice they don't even sell whole cut up chicken anymore in the supermarkets. Back in the day, you can get a pack of cut up chicken already cut up for you. Now they don't sell it no more. I haven't seen it at any supermarket in a few years. They want you to buy the whole chicken and cut it up yourself. One thing with technology I do promote for the future is virtual reality. Like if you could put on the machine, put the program you want to go in for about an hour or two, and pick the man or the woman that you want to talk to or do whatever with in virtual reality. Do you know how popular that would be? Like, let's say somebody, you got a crush on a celebrity, and you can go in the machine and say, okay, set up a date with this person in virtual reality for like 2 hours or 5 hours, whatever, we're in the city or something, and go into virtual reality and have an experience of a lifetime and all types of stuff going on in virtual reality. It would be crazy. If you get to choose what you want to do, you get to choose who it is, the date, and all that other stuff. That would be cool. It would be a good therapy for a lot of people, I think. I do. So I hope I didn't scare you with these pictures on the screen, but these are real things that people believe in or they're into. Witches and warlocks, spiritual healers, hoodoo and voodoo, aliens, goblins, ghosts, vampires, werewolves. Oh my God, all types of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and go. Phone line was open if anybody wanted to share, but I think we still had a good conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and go. Thank you for joining me. I might have this again in the future. This is part 2. I probably will do this again. I won't tell you when, except when I post it in my community section. So thank you all. Bye, y'all. And remember, sometimes you can bring certain energies around you. Like if you really believe in something, you can literally have it manifest in your reality. I mean, stuff like that happens. And they say it in the movies, if you really believe in it with your heart and soul and all this stuff, it can happen sometimes. And sometimes if you don't believe in some stuff, you might think it's nonsense or it's crazy or, I don't believe in it. Sometimes you don't have those experiences. Everyone has different experiences that happens to them. There are other people said, oh, this is demonic stuff. Oh, no, this is not of God, this stuff that happens, but it happens to people, So I would say if you know someone practicing voodoo and hoodoo, me personally, I wouldn't really mess with them people because they might try to put something on you. It probably won't work, but still, you never know what somebody's trying to do. All types of crazy stuff. There's all types of stuff going on in this world. So, y'all, just, a lot of you are protected, though, protected. So, y'all take care, okay? Bye.